Yes, people, welcome back. Never a foul. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, get your comments in as always, whether you agree, disagree. It's football. It's all love. Nothing's personal, I hope. Guys, Arsenal are the news this week. Arsenal are the flavour of the meat this week. And we've got to talk about it because with Odegaard's injury, missing some key games, did Arsenal do enough in the transfer window? And this was just something I was thinking about, like driving home, if I'm totally honest. I was like, Arsenal want to be challenging for the title. Arsenal want to be dethroning Manchester City. Arsenal also want to be going far in the Champions League. They're going to need one, which is a squad. And two, you're going to need quality. And I sat there and I was like, have Arsenal done enough? Are the signs of Declan Rice being out, which I get it, Jorginho and Partey can come in. That's not a problem. But Odegaard being missing for a few weeks, now you're looking at it like, okay, have we got a problem here? And that's what I'll be thinking as a neutral football fan, in terms of obviously looking at Arsenal from the outside. I'm looking at it and I'm like, you're now hoping it works. That's what you're hoping for. And that's what's led me to think about the whole transfer window for Arsenal Football Club. Because obviously we look at it with the Odegaard injury. Obviously Declan Rice out for the weekend, a game against Spurs. But you've got Marino that's come in from Real Sociedad. You've got Sterling that's coming obviously on loan. You've got Calafiori that's coming from Bologna. And that's a good signing. I can't lie. That is a good signing. And then you look at the outgoings. Of course, you've got Smith Rowe that left and went to Fulham. You've got Vieira. And I'm talking about notable signings. Obviously, I know Kieran Tierney and stuff like that, but Fabio Vieira that's obviously left and gone back to Porto. And then you've got Nketiah that left on deadline day and has gone to Crystal Palace. Now, when we look at the Arsenal window, you've got some fans, Big Up a Gal makes great content, that has said, this Arsenal team are ready to win the league. He believes in this Arsenal team. He thinks they've got enough. Where you've got other fans like Northside, big up to him as well, that are saying, do you know what? No, we haven't got enough. Where are the XYZ? People are believing too much of what the club is saying, and it's like false belief. He's not into the hype. He's been like that from day one. Even I think with Mikel Arteta, he's just never been sure in him. And football, people are entitled to their views. But me, where do I stand on it? And obviously, where do you guys stand on it in the comments? Because I look at it, right, and Mikel Marino has come in, and he's been signed for, say, 30 million, just say that, about roughly 30 million. He's a Spanish international that's played for Real Sociedad. And he's probably come in to sort of replace this sort of Xhaka mold. He's good in the air. He can pass. He's physical enough. And I think he's ready for the second stint in the Premier League. But you look at it, and I'm like, where does he fit into Arsenal's best midfield? And, at the end of the day, I get it. There's horses for courses. Styles make fights. There might be Declan Rice in the 6 one day, and then it's Odegaard and Moreno. But then, you look at some games, and you might want to control the ball more. So then, is it Odegaard, Rice, and Thomas Partey? And there's nothing wrong with rotating and Marino not being in the starting lineup. I look at that and I think, okay, they've got midfielders that can work. Jorginho and Partey can play in the 6. Declan Rice can play in the 6. Then they've got Marino and Rice that can both play in the 8. But then you look at the number 10 role, and this is my issue. I think, for me, in terms of the style of player, there's a drop-off. I look at Kai Havertz, who's been playing in the number 9 role, and he's very good in the number 9 role for Arsenal. Drops in, links up well with Saka, Martinelli or Trossard, whoever it is, and it works for him. It clicks. Sometimes it's a system that fits, and Havertz fits in that number 9 role for them. But when he plays in midfield, as we saw when he first arrived, it wasn't quite the same. Now, is he going to have to drop back in and play in there while Odegaard's out? And then does that mean they have to rely on Jesus to play in the number 9 role, or Leandro Trossard to potentially go in the number 9 role? It's not filling you with loads of confidence. But that's because Arsenal didn't quite go out there and get what was needed in the attacking areas in the transfer window. And that's what it is. You call a spade a spade. That is the truth. You've got Calafiori that's come in, who I think is a brilliant signing, because when you look at it from back to front, let's go through it. You've got David Raya in goal. That's fine. You're sorted. You've got Calafiori that can play at left back and left centre back. Now, we all know with the Zinchenko situation, hot and cold, you don't want to have him up against great attacks. You want to have him in a game that you're going to probably dominate. But you've got Zinchenko that can play there. You've got Calafiori now, and you've got Timber. You look at left centre back, you've got Calafiori, you've got Gabriel, right centre back. You've got Ben White that can play there. You've got Timber that can play there. You've got Saliba, right back. You've got Timber and Ben White. So you're kind of solid there. And you look at Arsenal's defense, it was already the best last season, if not better now, because Timber's basically back as a new signing, which I respect that. That is a great buy potentially. And you've got Calafiori that's already shown in the Euros. He's got the ability to play left back and left centre back. He's mobile. He can pass through the line. He's combative as well. And even though Italian players don't normally do well in the Premier League notoriously, I think he's one player that will do well. I think he's got the traits that will suit the Premier League. But then my problem is looking at it further forward. I've just said to you, the number 6 role, I'm not going to go through it again. They're covered. The number 8 role, you've got Moreno and Rice. But then you look at where it matters sometimes in games. I know people say defense wins you titles and goals win you games. I look at Man City and I say they do both. They've got defenders that can defend. They've got quality and depth there. And they've got attackers that can score and contribute. And when you look at it, right, with Odegaard gone in terms of 3 weeks out, which you can't really plan for, but these things you can plan for in terms of injuries can happen to anyone at the moment. Did Arsenal do enough to replace their captain? Or did Arsenal do enough, or should I say, to support their captain? I don't know. Because Smith Rowe was a player that some Arsenal fans wanted gone because they didn't believe he was good enough. And some Arsenal fans wanted him to stay because they believed that if he got enough game time and he recovered over his injuries, he had something to offer. Now, some Arsenal fans might be watching this and saying, no, we're right to sell him. Some Arsenal fans could look at it and say, no, this is why we should have kept him. And only Smith Rowe will probably know the answer, because for him, he probably wanted to stay at Arsenal, but wanted to get more game time. Well, now would have been his moment. Now would have been the time to say, right, Smith Rowe, go and take your opportunity in the number 10 role. And yes, Odegaard's probably going to play when, he comes back, but show me, as an Arteta, why you should be in this squad when we've got FA Cup, we've got Carabao Cup, we've got Champions League and the Premier Leagues. And then you've got Fabio Vieira that he did sign for decent money and he's gone back to Porto. But when you look at the profiles of players that Arsenal have got, Vieira and Smith Rowe were the most suited to replacing Odegaard in that 10. And then I look at it and I throw it back at you and say, okay, Odegaard and Vieira could have played. One of them could have stayed. That rhymes. But then they still got the quality. Have they still got that, you're looking at it and you're thinking, yeah, do you know what? Arsenal could win that game. Arsenal were definitely going to be convincing. You still don't know because you didn't see enough of Smith Rowe and you still definitely didn't see enough of Vieira. And then you look into the attack now, and it's all mad because this is all coming to my head from Declan Rice being suspended and Martin Odegaard being out. I look at it, the left wing, I've already said, you see my video, guys, Raheem Sterling's begging to take that left wing role because Martinelli, you don't know what you're getting. He does give you great moments in behind sometimes with his pace. Trossard's great off the bench, but he's not good when he starts. I'm sorry, but I just think he's good off the bench, and that's what he should be, an impact sub. And then you've got Havertz, he's probably going to have to drop in now for Odegaard, and you've got Jesus, he's going to start at number 9. Now, when you're all looking to win the league, and you've got Jesus, he's had a lot of injuries since he's joined Arsenal, has never been able to be consistent. Can you rely on him? That's the question. The ability as a football player, he's got ability. He can play out wide, he can hold up the ball, he can link it up, but does he score enough goals? No. And we've seen that throughout his career. And now he's coming back from niggly injuries into a team where the pressure's on now. Arsenal's expectations of when he signed weren't straight away win the league. They certainly are now. The pressure's on. You need to be delivering when you're in that number 9 role. So when I look at Arsenal and their whole transfer window, I think they could have done with another striker, 100%. Victor Osimhen, we've just seen go on loan to Galatasaray. Now, I'm not saying that Arsenal could have pulled off that deal and got him on loan because what's happened at Napoli. But if Chelsea were looking to buy him or get him on loan, why weren't Arsenal looking? Now, I know maybe he's not going to be the most flashiest player in terms of technically he's amazing, he's got the guile and stuff like that. But I would have looked at it and said, look, if we could get him on loan just for a season, yeah, it might cost a little bit on the budget, but it's worth it. Because imagine having Havertz and Osimhen as your 2 strikers. You've got one that can drop in, technically sound, can link up, already fits the system. And then you've got Osimhen, powerful, runs the channels, can score goals. And look, I'm not going to sit here and say he would have got you 30 goals a season, but I know there would have been games where he would definitely be the difference between maybe drawing 1-1 and winning 2-1. And if you want to win the league, that's what you need to do. Number 10 role, have they got enough cover in that role? Because when I look at it, And I'm not looking just about throwing Havertz in there. I'm talking about quality. I'm talking about having the eye of the needle pass, the James Maddison, the Odegaard, that sort of what you want, that, that X factor in there. Cole Palmer, even a Yao Felix, that he might not start at Chelsea, but he's got that factor in him that they can produce them big moments in the number 10 role. I don't know, because they've gone out and signed Raheem Sterling on a free transfer at the end of the window. I said that I think it's the right move for Sterling, because it's his last chance to prove it at the highest level. But also, from Arsenal's side, it might not work out. Arsenal fans wanted to go out and get Nico Williams. Now, look, I respect it. I know that Arsenal couldn't go out there and just go and sign Nico Williams for 70 million. But still, they could have gone out there and tried to sign a winger. There could have been someone out there who was around the 30 million mark that could have made an impact, I'll even throw one out there. And you know what? If I was Arsenal, I would have broken the bank for this player. Because right now, as I sit and make this video, I've just thought of it. Can you believe that? Live on the rough, I've just thought of this. 26-year-old Crystal Palace midfielder, Ebereze Eze. Go out and get Eze. You would have solved the problem at number 10 with the quality, the guile, the Premier League experience, and England international. Oh my God. And now on the left wing, you've been crying out for someone that can produce out there consistently. Now, I know Eze's only had one big season at Crystal Palace, but if you watch football and you know a player, then you know a player. Don't doubt me, guys. Eze, for 50 million, you've got a left winger in there that can start, and you've got someone that can play in the number 10 if you want to rest Odegaard or rotate. Oh my God. Tell me the foot doesn't fit in the shoe. It does. It's perfect. I can't believe that. I've just thought of it now, guys. Like, I'm 12 minutes into the video. Arsenal should have gone out and got Eze. Left wing sorted, number 10 sorted to help Odegaard. Oh my goodness gracious me. Can play the number 8 even if it needed to as well. Arsenal, you have missed the trick. And when I look at this now, this could be the difference between winning the league and losing the league. And I'll tell you this. This is how I want to kind of wrap up this video as well, is that when you look at the rivals you're competing with, right? It's Manchester City. Yeah, let's forget. Liverpool might be there. They might be sniffing, but talking longevity for the whole season, it's Arsenal, Man City. Now, Arsenal, when you look at it, have got their players, yeah? You look at Man City, Gundogan has come back in. We've always said, what if Rodri can't play? Who can play there? Now, Gundogan can definitely play there. We've seen it. We don't need to talk about it. He can play number 8 as well. Experienced, German captain, just retired from international duty, a leader, a winner. Got the nous, got the mentality. And then you look at their attack and you look at Savio. Now, people thought Savio might go on loan for his first season. No, that guy's come in and he's hit the ground running. And when I look at City's attack, right, you've got Savio, you've got Doku that can play on the right. You've got Foden that can play on the right as well. Yeah, you look at number 10, you've got De Bruyne, you've got Foden, you've got Matthias Nunes that can play in there, you've got Gundogan that can even play in there. Then you look at the left, Grealish can even play in there. We've just seen him doing it for England. You look at the left, you've got Doku again. Foden can play there if needed. Fabio can definitely play there. Matthias Nunes come on against West Ham and played on the left. Got the assist when he cut inside for Erling Haaland against West Ham. When you look at City, they've got 2 players in every position. The defense is solid. You've got Gvardiol, Aki on the left. You've got Diaz, Stones, Akanji, Gvardiol. They all can play centre-back. I'm probably missing one out as well. Then the right back, you've got Walker, you've got Stones, and you've got Rico Lewis. I've just reeled off the depth that they've got in that team. Kovacic even in midfield as well. The depth for them is scary because it's quality as well. Whoever starts, the quality is still there. The standard is still upheld. The only position they are short in, and we will see throughout the season if it bothers them, is Erling Haaland. They've got one striker who has come back fully fit. He's refreshed. He's not had an international duty over the summer. He said he's in the best physical shape of his life. Now, if he stays fit, it guarantees goals. He's a demon. My only question is, if Haaland gets injured, what will City do? But right now, I'm talking about Arsenal when their transfer window. Because if Haaland does get injured and City struggle, I'll be on here to talk about it and saying, did Man City fall short? Or should they go out and get someone in January? But right now, we can't talk about it because the guy's got 7 goals in 3 games. I can't talk about that. So Arsenal, can you say that you're in a stronger position to win the league over Manchester City when you look at the depth, the attack in midfield, and the forward line? because City have got Savio, another winger to their ranks. They've got Gundogan, the leader, the experience in their defense, where they've got numbers upon numbers. I don't know if Arsenal did enough in this transfer window to say that they can go out there and now win the title, because times like this will test them. If they go and beat Spurs, if they go and beat City without Odegaard, even though Rice only misses one game, but they go and do that and they still... I will come on here, do a video and say, look, Arteta, you are on that right path. Arsenal Football Club, the players, the mentality has switched. You've shown me something. You've shown the football world something, that you're ready to really turn a corner now. And I'm not trying to put Arsenal under pressure here. Look, the first season they challenged for the title, I did not expect that. Last year, I think that was the year they wanted to really push on, but I still didn't expect them to fully be ready yet. Now they are ready. Now there are no more excuses. Did Arsenal do enough in the window? Let me know in the comments. Did they need more? How do you feel about it? Because the Premier League is back. International break is over. The season begins now.